Okay, everybody, welcome back to Lucent Oak Studios. We are the Lucent Truth. We've been away for a while, but we are back, and today we're going to be talking about SilverHawks. And the basic topic is, could the SilverHawks cartoon be adapted to a live-action film?
No.
Leave your opinions, Uncle David, however unfavorable, until we get to that part of the show. So,
I'm gonna try.
the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to read the plot. I took this from Wikipedia because I was too lazy to write my own. So we're just going to read the basic plot of the story. Okay, so a bionic space enforcer called Commander Stargazer recruited the SilverHawks, heroes who are partly metal, partly real, to fight the evil Monstar, an escaped alien mob boss who transforms into an enormous armor-plated creature with the help of Limbo's Moonstar. Joining Monstar in his villainy is an intergalactic mob, the snake-like Yes-Men, the blade-armed buzzsaw, the bull-headed Mumbo-Jumbo, a weather controller called Windhammer, a shapeshifter known as Molecular, a robotic card shark called Pokerface, the weapons-heavy hardware, and the musical madness of Melodia, who uses her keytar that fires musical tones. Quicksilver, formerly known as Jonathan Quick, leads the SilverHawks with his metal bird companion Tallyhawk at his side. Twins Emily and Will Hart become Steelheart and Steel Will, the SilverHawks technician and strongman respectively. Country singing bluegrass piloted the team's ship. Okay, so that's his name. Country singing bluegrass, not the song, not the music itself, but the country singing. His name is Bluegrass. Piloted the team's ship, the Mirage, pronounced Mirage on the series, but given that spelling on the Kerner toy. Rounding out the group is a youngster from the planet of the mimes named the Copper Kid, and usually called Kid for short, a mathematical genius who spoke in whistles and computerized tones. Their bionic bodies are covered by a full-body, close-fitting metal armor that only exposes the face and an arm. The armor is equipped with a retractile protective mask, retractable underarm wings, except Bluegrass, thrusters on their heels, and laser weapons in their shoulders. Okay, now we're going to show the intro to the cartoon.
Was still good enough for some reason.
Okay, here it goes. Here it goes. Here it goes.
Wings of silver, birds of steel. SilverHawks, partly metal, partly real. SilverHawks, soaring through the highway of the heavens in their flight. SilverHawks, a rainbow in the night. Wings of silver, birds of steel.
Lazy.
Watch him talk.
If you like this when you were a kid, you were mentally challenged.
Now that we watched the amazing intro, probably one of the best 80s intros in my opinion, but we'll leave that for later.
Oh my god.
SilverHawks was actually it wasn't as popular as Thundercats, but a lot of people consider it the kind of like the sister series to Thundercats because a lot of the same voice actors that were in Thundercats were in SilverHawks. It was made by the same company, animated by the same company. And I remember as a kid having SilverHawks toys, but I don't remember having Thundercats toys. And
Well, worthy.
well, it wasn't that I didn't like Thundercats because I did, but for some reason the SilverHawks toys spoke to me more. And this, well, before we do that though, I'm gonna go over briefly some of the characters. These are the main characters here, the stars of the show. Can everybody see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Quicksilver. I think they all had like enhanced abilities, like enhanced strength, enhanced speed, enhanced reflexes. but I think they all specialize in certain things, like, and they all had like laser weapons, and they could fly, except for Bluegrass. He couldn't fly, but he was the pilot of the ship. But Quicksilver's, I think, thing that made him stand out from everybody else was that I think he was faster than everybody else, and he was also quick thinking. Like I think his mental capacity was quicker or something like that. Bluegrass had his guitar thingy. I think it was called High Licks or something like that he could shoot like sonic blast out or something like that. Again, he was the only one that couldn't fly. He didn't have the retractable wings, but he did pilot the ship. Commander Stargazer he was like one of the older generations of the SilverHawks, so he had bionic enhancements, but he wasn't as technologically advanced because he was older, and apparently he was like 300 years old. Like he's 300 years old in the show. I guess his bionic enhancements it gave him longer lifespan. Kid Copper here, the little kid, he was actually not human. He was from another planet in another galaxy, and I think his race was called the Mimes. And obviously because he didn't speak English, or he didn't speak normally, he would use whistles and clicks and stuff like that. This is Steelheart and her twin brother Steel Will. And oh, by the way, Quicksilver had a silver sheen. Bluegrass, I think, it had like more of a bluish sheen. Kid Copper obviously had a copper sheen. Steelheart and Steel Will looked more like steel. And they were twins, and they had like psychic ability. They were empaths. They could read each other's thoughts, and even from like really long distances away. And they were also the brutes or the strength of the team. I think Steel Will was the strongest member of everyone, and she was the second strongest. And she also, I think, was like a mechanic or something like that, or he might have been a mechanic. One of them were a mechanic, and one of them were like the computer guy or something like that. Oh, also Kid Copper, he was some kind of mathematical genius or something like that. These are the second tier, or not second tier, but these are the other SilverHawks that they introduced later on in the series. This is the only black SilverHawk, and this is one of my biggest gripes about this show. Why would you call the black SilverHawk? Why would you name him after a piece of chicken? Hot Wing? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I do agree with you on that.
You see where his mind took there? He didn't associate it with like Hot Rod.
Yeah, but a Hot Wing? Come
Speed.
Come on, man.
He's got wings.
He's also black, and they could have come up with a better name. But anyway, he had more of like a orangey golden sheen to him.
So he was colored like chicken. Go ahead and say it.
Yeah, he was colored like chicken, like a hot wing.
He was colored fried chicken colored, and they call him Hot Wing. Okay.
More like buffalo wings. But anyway, his ability, he was a magician before he became a SilverHawk, so he could like cast illusions with his abilities and stuff like that, make force fields or something. He also had telekinesis. He could like lift things with his mind. This is a flashback. He's a SilverHawk from the future, and he had like a green tone, and his helmet, I think, was kind of modeled more after like an owl. But his ability was basically time travel, and he had some other things too. This is Condor. He's actually around the same age as the old guy here, Commander Stargazer. They were like partners at one time, but he's like a retired SilverHawk, and now he's like a private detective. And again, he's also bionically enhanced, but he's not as technologically advanced. And the last one here is Moonstriker. Now, to me, he is the lamest looking SilverHawk, but I think he has some kind of like wind powers or something like that. And above here are the main villains. Obviously, you have Monstar, and this is him in his first form. And then when he gets hit with the rays of the Moonstar, he turns into this like enhanced, gigantic version of himself. You got Seymour, you got Yes Man. It was supposed to be almost like a mafia type thing, right? Melodia with her guitar that shoots out sonic things, Poker Face, and then here's some of the other ones like Mumbo Jumbo, Hardware, Windhammer, who I always like. Windhammer I thought was really cool. And
it was the bird, man.
Molecular. What was that?
Bird.
Oh, Tallyhawk.
Satellite. Tallyhawk. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. The birds, they all had some kind of bird companion. They were called warbirds, and they could use them in different ways. And sometimes they would complement whatever their powers or whatever their special power was or whatever. And so that's basically the characters. And again, the toys I remember being pretty popular. I don't know if the show was as popular as the toys, but I remember the toys being pretty popular. And these are just examples of some of the toys. I know for a fact that I had Quicksilver. I can't remember if I had any of the other toys, but I know for a fact I had Quicksilver. And here are some of the other ones. This is Quicksilver here. This is the packaging.
Look how big his head is. Lame.
Okay, Uncle Dave, save your comments for later. Oh, let me get through this. This is Steel Heart, and these other little ads. This was the plane that they flew in. I thought the toys were cool, man. And this is Kid Copper here. This is them all together. I thought they looked pretty cool, man. Now these are some of the newer toys that are coming out. That's badass right there. I do wish the newer toys had more of a silvery sheen to them. They still look a little plasticky. All right, so basically, guys, can SilverHawks be adapted to live action? Who wants to express their thoughts first?
Question.
What's your question?
I was gonna say let Uncle
Of
Dave
course,
go.
it can be adapted to live action, but can it be adapted good? That's the question. And faithfully to the show. That's the question you have to ask.
Well, I would say that the show came out in the 80s. All right, so I think there's room for change. So I don't think it has to be like completely faithful to the show for it to be a good show. You know, I really don't. I mean, not exactly like this deep story with this, you know, these deep narratives and stuff like that. So I don't think whatever they do, just like the new Thundercats reboot they did, now even though it's not live action, it was a cartoon, wasn't an exact, you know, it wasn't exactly the same as the original cartoon. They made changes to suit modern audience as far as aesthetics. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I don't have a problem with them changing the story because I have some cool ideas of things that they could do. You know what I'm saying? It'll still be SilverHawks, but it'll be a little different. So no, I think it could happen. I will say though that when it comes to popularity, right? Like, I think visually it would make a good live action movie, but when it comes to being able to sell tickets, I think it's better done as a animated reboot than a live action movie. But I think a live action movie would be really cool, but it's such a niche type of thing. I don't think younger audiences would necessarily be attracted to it, but people our age would go see it. But something like this,
The
you're
younger ones
trying
won't
to.
watch. I can tell you that for sure.
You said a what?
The younger ones definitely won't watch it. I can tell you that for sure.
I mean, maybe not. I don't think they would because I don't think they have any reference for it. You know what I'm saying? Unless their parents watched it or something like that. You know, but
Yeah, I was gonna comment on that too. Yeah, with I feel like, you know, with the parents, you know, that know of it, you know, they're going to bring their kids. You know, the kids are going to get introduced to it. I feel like the same thing with like Ninja Turtles, and it's like with my kids, you know, they didn't know about it. You know what I'm saying? But of course, Ninja Turtles been around for a while and stuff like that. But it's like, you know, they got introduced to Ninja Turtles, you know, through me while I was on it. You know what I'm saying? And
Did
it's
they
like,
buy
you know,
it? Did they buy Ninja Turtle toys?
Yeah, but see, it's more of they were
Did they
into like
ask for those toys?
Oh yeah, but they asked for it. Like when they first started coming back, you know, it's like that's what they knew of, those type of like the newer ones. But when I showed them like the older Ninja Turtles, the ones I grew up on, they was like, what? You know, it just wasn't the same to them. But it made it more relevant to the kids now wise. But you know, with the parents like myself, just, you know, coming in, introducing it to them, it introduced it to them while I was on it. So I feel like it's the same thing in this category as well too.
Well, the reason why I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue. Finish.
Oh no. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the reason why I don't think it's the same is because we have a what's the term I'm looking for? We have a lineage of Ninja Turtles cartoons. Like a Ninja Turtle cartoon has come out for every generation since it's come out, right? So
Gotcha.
whereas Silverhawks, they had that one series and that's it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think there's I don't think it's a foundation for these young kids or for the younger generation for Silverhawks. That being said, if they were to do a live action movie and made it a little more serious, because they know that it's mostly people our age who are probably really going to go support this thing, and it made it maybe not rated R, but a little darker, a little more adult friendly. I think maybe that could work, because you'd be feeding off of the nostalgia of people our age, people who were like in their mid 30s to early 40s. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. And I wanted to jump on that as well.
Or mid 40s.
Too.
I should say mid 40s too. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. Yeah, and I feel like the way how they can do it, I wouldn't say like keep it too serious. If they could do it just like how they did, say like Guardians of the Galaxy, or like Thor Ragnarok, like basically kind of not keeping it so serious, because if you watch the show, there's comedy in it, and at the same there's action, and there's a little bit of serious, but I feel like if they use some of that formula from like Guardians of the Galaxy, because I can see that being it, because you got like the the Copper Kid, and even with the mob bosses and stuff like that, like there's fun they can have with that, and yet still build some interesting characters. And at first I was thinking, what, it'll probably best if they go the serious route, but when I think about it, but then that's kind of really taken away from this, like what the Silverhawks was, because there is you're having a good time with it, and it is kind of jokey, and even it's like
joke.
Because my thing was this, I was like, okay, well, how are you going to have them in space and then it's a mob boss? But then when you think about it, I started thinking, I was like, well, just like how Guardians of the Galaxy are, you can kind of build off of that, like, make your own universe of it, and it can relate. Like, I feel like if they was to bring it back, I feel like they should just basically use the first show as a reference. Basically, you're introducing them, but you're not like fully like going in depth. It's like, just like in the first episode, Munstar, he broke out of the prison, and it's like, you got all these other. The thing I would do is use like the Silverhawks as like some kind of special elites, intergalactic, unit, that was formed by Commander Stargazer, because he was the one that actually put Monstar in that prison. But now it's like the somehow he's about to escape, and then like the Moonstar, that's what gives him his power to make him transform. It's like, okay, they know he's escaped, and they know he's like vulnerable in the state he's in right now, because he's not weak, but he's, if he gets the Monstar thing, he's gonna be super powerful. So it's like, even though he's been locked up, some of his mob bosses, well, some of his mob mates or whatnot are still out there. So it's like, the Silverhawks, they're just trying to find them to make sure, because they know they're up to something, they're out doing something. So it'd be interesting to see how
they would have to
try to take a route like that.
I agree. I ultimately agree with you. I think that the tone of the movie would have to be something on the side of the Guardians or Thor Ragnarok. I do agree with that.
I hate it.
I do agree with that. You didn't like Thor Ragnarok?
Thor was alright, but that Guardians of the Galaxy, I tried.
Yeah, I didn't. I'm not a big fan of
It was just too silly for me.
I'm not a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy, but I understand where Orlando's coming from. That visual language, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think would make sense, and Ragnarok especially, I think will work for Silverhawks as far as the visual language. I can see something like PG-13. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think you have a choice, because it's set up with characters that are at the core, especially the bad guys. At the core, they're kind of silly. So it's got to be fun. It's got to be somewhat whimsical or whatever.
Yeah, but you can.
They're flying in space with no mask, but they're humans.
Well, there's a couple things. The couple things, Uncle David. One, I think you could go dark with Silverhawks. I think you could go with a grittier feel and it still work. I think the elements are there. Obviously, there would have to be some some changes, but the elements are there. I wouldn't go that route, but you could, and I think it still would be successful. Like on par with something like the Chronicles of Riddick, that visual language and that type of darkness. I think you could get away with something doing Silverhawks in that same line. As far as Uncle Dave, as far as what you said about them breathing in space, that means your Silverhawks, your knowledge of the Silverhawks lore is lacking. Okay.
Yeah, because they got the mask thing that comes down over their face.
No. If you read up on it, if you did your homework, like you should have,
Nobody said anything about reading. I heard.
If you did your homework, like you should have, you would know that for some reason in the galaxy that they're in, the galaxy of Limbo, there's enough there's enough gas in the space in that galaxy to where you can breathe in the galaxy of Limbo. So yeah. Oh yeah, and they are
mind blown.
Yeah. So yeah, you did not properly read up on.
So the only way that you can make this make sense is to go and read up on it. It can't stand on its own and make any practical sense to anybody that knows anything about space.
It's an 80s cartoon, Uncle Dave.
What the Thundercats did. I mean, come on. If you're going to do that, go ahead. Just say it's magic. That makes it that much easier. Okay, it's magic.
I mean, but you can say the same thing.
Because
Thundercats doesn't make sense either, do you? I mean, they're like humanoid cat creatures.
No, I'm about to say there's all kind of like magical stuff in Thundercats.
Yeah.
Right.
And a sword with an eyeball.
That's how they get away with it. They didn't say they created technology and merged with cats. Then it would be stupid. Right? Or they made this and such and such, and we're going to put this electronic eye in this sword, and it's going to grow. It makes sense because it is magic, and they do use magic. Like when Mumra turns, it's the ancient spirits of evil. But this being gets hit with light from the star, and he
Cosmic
basically
energy, and he transforms.
But Silverhawks never says anything.
Why does he stay like that? Does he starve and lose it all?
But Silverhawks never says anything about magic.
Exactly. So how does he change into the whatever cosmic energy?
Yeah, he mutates.
Yeah,
he's a mutant.
And then he mutates back.
Yeah, it's kind of like a werewolf.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Nah, man.
But
another thing
I'm struggling. Even if you could make it look exactly, they could fly across the scenes, no wire smoothly. If you made it move and everything and look just like the movie. The idea of it's just so.
I think that's a lack of imagination. No, Uncle Dave, I think that's a lack of imagination because I'm like with all the advancements that we have in the modern era, right? I can see how it could apply to Silverhawks. I mean, look at ChatGPT with AI. You know what I'm saying? Look at what we're doing with. Hold on, let me finish. Wait. We can't overtalk. We can't overtalk. Look, we can't overtalk. We can't overtalk. Uncle Dave, we can't overtalk. We can't overtalk, man. Let me finish my point. What I'm saying is that there's enough there that you can alter to make it more realistic is what I'm saying. If you wanted to adapt it to a live action. For example, right? We're doing all this stuff with like gene therapy and stuff like that, right? And everyone's talking about the singularity, man merging with machines, right? That can easily be adapted for Silverhawks, right? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Look at Iron Man with his nanotech. Imagine like in the live action movie, they explain it with some scientists create some nanotechnology that merges with the human biology, and he created certain it has to be attuned to your particular biology to work. Like not like wherever he creates that merges with your biology, it has to be attuned to your particular biology, right? And let's say like they go to Captain America route where the scientist dies, right? And he only had time to make enough of the modules that went along with these particular people, but it was supposed to be for more, right? So they become the Silverhawks, and there will never be any more after them, right? And maybe part of the story is that people are always trying to find this technology this guy, or the secret to this technology the scientist created. I even had this one idea where how they have like different. You have the Copper Kid, you actually have Quicksilver who's silvered, you got the Steel people, and you got the blue guy. Like, what if in the movie they had like different tiers, like you know what I'm saying, like the kids would start like when you were a kid you start off with copper, and then as you raise your ranks, like the highest rank is silver, you know what I'm saying, and you get the best or the most or the highest form of your abilities if you get to the silver rank, but only certain people can do it or something like that. There's all kind of cool stuff they could do with this concept, and they look cool.
Yeah,
that's the other thing. I think
there's a lot of cool stuff you could do with any failing film. That's the thing. Yeah, I can imagine such a certain. What if they put me in it? That would improve it altogether. But it doesn't.
But isn't that?
And they probably would.
But isn't that erroneous?
It's gonna be lame.
You said with any failing film, it's not. It's never been a film. So how is it a failing film?
Any failing idea of intermediate entertainment, because this failed. How many seasons did they get?
They only got one season, but
they got one.
Yeah. But
it's not a failure. He's right.
But it got 65 episodes. I mean, that's practically 2 seasons. It's practically 2 seasons.
Yeah. Well, again, like I said, like basically, No, I'm just saying it's like this, man. Production and stuff, like, you don't know. Hey, they probably was on a budget. Hey, look, we got all these things. It wasn't able to, get turned to another season. They probably just combine it all into one just to maybe fill out some Saturday morning cartoon slots and stuff and all. But I mean, to me, I'm like, I don't see how. I mean, like when I was on the playground and stuff, as kids, this is all what we were talking about. And Thundercats.
Yeah, I know. So
it's I wanted to see more. And then when I got older, I was like, you know what? I know there's got to be more seasons. But when I got the complete season and I looked it up, they were saying, yeah, it was just only one season. I'm like, what? I was like, but I've seen a whole bunch of it, which there's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, there's 65 episodes.
Like, yeah, but again, I
Tiger Shark's better than this.
Whoa, no.
Yeah, I don't know that.
But I have to stop you right there.
Tiger Shark's better than this. I'll put the Street Frogs above this.
No, man. Like when they started going the Tiger Shark route, I was like, I wasn't into that.
What's the difference? They're the SilverHawks. What's different?
I didn't mind Tiger Sharks, but I didn't think they were as cool as Thundercats or SilverHawks.
Yeah. Like, to be honest, I really couldn't tell you the backstory or nothing wise on them. I mean, I liked them, but it wasn't on the level like how I like SilverHawks and Thundercats.
Yeah.
But I just, for some reason, Tiger Shark, it didn't do it for me.
Yo, Caliph, man, like you're in a black hole here, man. You're in a black hole.
Hey, what are you doing there with that light off?
Black hole, dude. Dude, you can't just turn on the light in your room. Yeah, there you go. That was good. Yeah, so you can actually see what's going on. All right. I don't know, man. I think this is adaptable. I think that there's a lot here that can be used, explored, and I think how technology has advanced and our understanding of technology and I think can be applied to this in very unique and creative ways. There are things I would do, like, okay, for instance, there's a clone of Quicksilver called like Darkwing or something like that. Don't do corny stuff like that. Like, I would make Darkwing his own character. Like he's kind of like the Green Ranger in Power Rangers. He's the bad Silverhawk, instead of just making him a clone of and give him like a shiny onyx like armor. You know what I'm saying? Man, there's just so many cool things they could do with this. They could explore the planet of the mimes where Kid Copper's from. Like, what's his backstory, his history? I'm sure they do in the cartoon. I just can't remember. I can't remember it. One of the things that were special about Ironheart. No, I'm sorry. What was it? Silverheart and Silverwheel. What were their names? Steelheart. Steelheart and Steelwheel was that during their transformation, when they were going through the process to become a Silverhawk, their regular hearts failed, so they had to give them artificial hearts. Hence their names, Steelheart and Steelwheel. They could talk about that, like the limitations of flesh being able to merge with bionics, which it could go into maybe like the older Silverhawks. They weren't as advanced. I mean, there's just so many cool things they could do with this that I think that your lack of imagination doesn't allow you to see, Uncle Dave.
Yeah, I'm like, look, they would have to do so much for me to be impressed with this. It wouldn't be the Silverhawks when they finish.
I don't think I disagree.
Yeah, I mean the fly through space on silver wings. Get rid of that. I mean, oh god, dude.
Well,
I
that's
mean,
the cool thing. Weren't
get Sonic guitar that shoots stuff.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That is not awesome.
That's so cool. Like I literally have a story that I've been working on
A
for
music
years.
weapon is it?
Yeah, I literally have a story
God.
that I've been working for years where they use guitars as weapons. I mean, that's so awesome.
Oh my god, man! That you're home, man.
And then the
No,
wings,
they-
You gotta use your imagination.
the wings. You know how they could,
Man,
you know how they
gotta
could
do-
explain the wings, and I think they even do this in the show. I could be wrong.
It's so gaseous they can fly on the gas.
Well, no,
God's
it's
sake.
that the wings could almost act as like as solar receptors, like they could
like
get
a
ener-
solar.
So they
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
the power.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
From the
it's
sun,
just so
you know,
many
that's
cool
it.
things they could do with this, Uncle Dave.
Could do, did not do. Now we're just speculating.
That's the whole freaking point of the. Can SilverHawks be adapted to live action? That's what we're supposed to do.
I don't want to say
Speculate.
it's
The things that you're saying that they could do. Okay, well, make this solar panel wings. So what?
I didn't say
That
solar
doesn't
panel
make it
wings. I said
better.
solar receptors. Like they're much more
Same thing.
powerful. They're much more powerful
Mm-hmm.
than solar panels. And wasn't there a scene where he could like reflect light off of it and shoot it? I can't remember. I remember seeing something like that. Maybe I'm wrong. I have to go back and watch
Yeah,
it.
they had like the leaves used to
Lame.
come out their shoulder and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, just like one of the things too, like it's the technology is here, man, for visually. Because I mean, I look at say like Iron Man, like the first Iron Man when he was facing the Raptors and stuff, like in the cloud of smoke. I can see that scene being done with Silverhawks when they're doing the training. I don't know if you ever seen the first episode, but they're doing the training exercise, and they're actually going through the clouds and stuff like that. And then like Bluegrass, he doesn't have the wings and stuff, but he's piloting that jet. And for the record, I love the design of that jet, the Mirage.
Yeah, the
I
jet
love
is
it.
cool,
That
man.
And the Thunder Tank, it's tight. You know what I'm saying? And I
It's
can
the
just
only
see
part
it.
I liked about the thing. That the
Oh,
bird,
man.
man. The birds were cool,
And on the birds as well too. Yeah, I mean, it could be done.
but everything else lame.
I will say this. I think it's interesting that when the cartoon came out, it was targeted towards people.
Of low IQ.
Oh my god. of my and Orlando's age, well, how old were you when this cartoon came out, Uncle Dave?
Actually, let me tell you
Same age
this,
as
man.
Thundercats,
Let me say this. I want to
Voltron,
say,
and Macross or Robotech.
Well, to be fair, you do have
We turn this off.
you have a mech bias, and that's why you like the plane over you do like the bionic people.
I said Voltron,
That's what I'm saying. You have a mech bias.
not Voltron. I said Thundercats.
Yeah, no, you like Thundercats. I'll give you that one.
Mhm.
But I just think it's interesting that our oldest member and our youngest member just have such horrible taste. You haven't said anything, Caleb. What's your thoughts, man?
He's like it's lame. It's nothing to say. Without all the backdrop, and he's a great example. Without all the backdrop and intro, or whatever you put it in front of him, he's like,
But to be fair, he's also from the mumble rap generation, so you got to take that into account.
Caleb is not a mumble rapper. Caleb has
no,
good
it's not.
taste.
Yeah, what the world?
Caleb is a drum and bass fan.
I'm just saying that
You
he's.
gotta show Caleb some respect.
I'm just
man.
saying he's from
Yeah.
that. I'm just saying he's from that generation, so I can't put too much stock in his
Well,
thoughts.
everybody wants to be famous. Like it's way easier to get famous off of mumble rap than any other type of music because it doesn't take talent.
Yeah, we're not
okay?
talking
I
about mumble
understand.
rap. I want to know what your thoughts on
We're
can
having a podcast about that.
Silverhawks be adapted to a live action movie?
Should it be in your case?
I mean, I feel like it's an old property that they could really reuse. So I mean, I feel like they should take it because it's something that it's been just sitting in the pile, just getting dust on it. Might as well use
It's
it.
been in
Time to
garbage.
use.
I read
it's unexplored. It's unexplored, man.
It's something we could explore, especially with the modern day take of it.
yeah
It's something that could be almost like a new story.
I read up on it just to kind of see what the popularity was on it, and I think it's more like it has cult popularity.
yeah.
It's not as popular as Thundercats, but everyone remembers it, and most people remember the theme song in the intro.
Mhm.
And
No,
that's
but the problem why it's not as popular is because like with Thundercats, they made so many different versions of Thundercats compared. They made one version of Silverhawks and that's it.
they've only made two different versions of Thundercats.
No, there's way more. There's way more. I can show you.
There's
way
at
more.
least three. There's the one where they had the little mini bubble looking character.
That's
Nah.
the second one, and the first one was in 2011, right?
Right.
So there's only
And then
three.
the original.
The original,
three.
2011, and then the shitty cartoony one.
Exactly.
So what
He
other?
said it was only two versions.
No,
And
he
you
said there was
notice- you
many.
notice-
He said it was many versions. I said there's only three versions.
And you know, it's just like once they hit that third version or something, it's just like,
Yeah, because they try to give it that Adventure Time look. I'm like, that's not Thundercats. Oh, I'm sorry, that is not Thundercats. Yeah.
Hey, Adventure Time was kind of good. They had a good story. Okay.
I'm not saying Adventure Time wasn't good. What I'm saying is that art style is not Thundercats.
You shouldn't.
That is sacrilege. That is sacrilege.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Thundercats is not to be taken lightly. It's what makes boys into men. Literally, we're watching these things, and this is how this one does, and this is everything in Thundercats. If you look at it, they tell jokes, but it's mostly serious. They're out there trying not to die. Literally.
You talking about in Silverhawks?
He's talking about Thundercats.
Oh,
now,
Thundercats.
It's mostly serious.
Now, I will say this though: there has been a lot of people saying they want some kind of reboot of Silverhawks, and if everyone looks on the jumbotron here, this is an article I read today. It says classic '80s TV show Silverhawks being reanimated by the Nacelle company, and I looked into the company, and they seem to be into like retro cartoons and toys and stuff like that. So hopefully they'll treat it right, and we don't get you know
why don't they just go ahead and make the Thundercats and make some money?
They already have been doing that, Dave. What are you talking
Thundercats
about?
was already done like that, and to me, it was really good.
Actually, they need to continue that anime one on Thundercats. But
I agree.
digress. I won't go into that because I don't.
I agree. No, we agree. I think they should have continued it too. I'm not as big of a fan of it as some others, but I did like it. I thought it was a bit rushed, but I did like it. I didn't like some of the character designs. You know, I didn't like the. I mean, I know why they did, but I didn't really like the teenage looking Lionel all that much. But I get why they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's popular enough to where someone's putting some money into it to reboot it, not as a live action movie like we've been discussing, but they are going to do a new animated series. It looks like. You know what? I would be happy if they did an animated movie, like a series of animated movies, instead of doing a series. To tell you the truth, and get some really high quality animation in there. I would prefer that really almost than having a series. In fact, if they would have done that for Thundercats, that would have been freaking awesome. Kind of like how they did for He-Man, that latest He-Man that came out. It looked amazing. I didn't watch it because of the misandry in it, but
I liked it. You know, man, I liked it.
Yeah, no, we know you got bad taste. Yeah, we know.
Hey, come on, man. Adam called down the power of Grayskull without the sword, man. You don't get any better than that.
And they killed him. They killed him twice. And, they put a woman in his spot. Yeah, we know. We know. You will discard the misandry because we know you have bad taste, but
Okay.
But Caleb, any other words you want to impart to us about this?
You gonna go see it when it come out?
We'll just have to see what they do with the reanimation of it, because this is the time they could revitalize the series or completely butcher it to the point where the series is gonna be dead.
Let me ask you this, Caleb. What do you think of like the look of this? Like, what do you think they look cool? Do you think they look corny? Do you think they,
The mask definitely looks cool.
I think
that's kind of weird. Like the mask is the cool part. Like they could make a whole like armor. Or they made like kind of like armor knight looking set. I kind of see that.
Yeah, I will agree.
It's like knights, but it's.
I agree with that. I think the trying to make metal hair is kind of ridiculous. But when you couple it with the mask, it looks more like a helmet.
Yeah, so I think the helmet. Just make it a complete helmet. Don't make it like a slide-on mask.
I agree.
Make it a helmet. Make it look more armor-like, because that'll go more modern day stuff like a body. Because it's like those superhero thing that's just a bodysuit. Yeah. Now they make each other more like armor or a suit. They're gonna have to go that route. They want to apply to more of a younger audience like me. Because we see suits like that, it just looks kind of lame. It's like they're wearing spandex.
I think they should go. I think they should go the Iron Man, Invincible Iron Man route, or Superior. I'm sorry, Superior Iron Man route where. They're walking around. They have a normal form, and even in a normal form, they have like enhanced strength or whatever. But then they do something where they activate and they go into like their metallic form, and then it enhances their strength even more and their abilities even more, and they can fly. And you know what I'm saying? That would be cool. That would be freaking awesome if they did something like that. Because I don't like the
nanotech or something like that.
Yeah, I never liked the idea of where like one of their arms is still flesh. Like to me, that was dumb. That was kind of stupid. Yeah. Just make their whole thing, and then they can go in and out of that form. You know what I'm saying? because you could do all kind of cool stuff. Like Monstar could come up with some. He could go to his scientists and they come up with something like some kind of bionic inhibitor. You know what I'm saying? So it won't allow them to go through it, and they have to find different ways to. So, man, there's all kind of cool stuff they could do, man. With just a little bit of imagination, because I think the substance is there. You know what I'm saying?
What's up? That's the thing I'm getting. What's up there? It looks cool.
No, not just that it looks cool, but the characters are interesting. They go. Hold on, hear me out. And also, how they become Silverhawks is interesting. One of the coolest things is that first episode where they talk about how they're becoming Silverhawks. I like the fact that it takes place in a galaxy far, far away, like Star Wars. So they're not. I mean, they talk about Earth, and you do see Earth, but most of the adventures takes away from Earth. So you're not so bogged down by Earth's history and what goes on there. You can actually do interesting, creative things. Some of the villains I think are cool. Even some of the names are kind of corny. Like that Warhammer guy with the Weather Hammer, whatever his name is, with the tuning fork. Awesome. I think that's awesome. I like Mumbo Jumbo. It's kind of funny and ridiculous, but I always liked him. You know, there's some cool things they could do with it, man. And yeah, I think visually it speaks to a lot of people. A lot of people think it's cool looking, and that's why I was asking Caleb if he thought it was cool, because I remember as a kid, like, man, that is so cool looking. Now, don't get me wrong, I thought Thundercats was cool looking too. You know, I thought they were really awesome looking. So visually, yeah, I think there's a lot of things a lot of directions they could go.
Yeah, they could improve. There's a lot they could improve.
Yeah, because when you speak on the villains, man, like I remember I had Monstar, the figure.
And Monstar looks cool.
Buzzsaw. Yeah, and it's like the thing with that, I would like to see the visual, like, real life of it, like in the movies and stuff, of the villain, like Buzzsaw or Monstar. But I can see Buzzsaw. I mean, he's got these, like buzzsaws like on his shoulder. You got one coming through the head. You got one on his, on his hands right here. So seeing him I can see him maybe in a fight scene with the twins. And they got to outsmart him, and he's just vicious, cutting up things. So I mean, just visually, man, I'm pretty sure that could be.
And there's things in the lore, in the story, that I think are unique. Like, for instance, Monstar, when he changes into his more powerful form, that's
fake Mumra.
That thing that gives him his energy, the Moonstar, is a solid star, right? And I was like, that's so freaking cool. It's a solid star, and there are real world parallels. Like, for instance, now they haven't found this yet, but theoretically, as the universe gets older and the energy starts to dissipate, there's a theoretical star called an iron star, right? So it'd be cool, like, if Monstar's Moonstar was actually just like one of the first suns that was created in the universe. This is kind of like his backlore to it, right? And it's so old that it's just collapsed. Instead of going supernova, it's just collapsed down into like this iron star. And so it has like these weird properties. And somehow he harnesses the power in it. Just all kind of cool stuff they could do with this, man. Yeah. But Uncle David just has such a lack of imagination. All he can do is just
that much imagination. I'll just start with my own story and go ahead and finish it. If I got to do that much work, take that silly looking Monstar and make it make sense.
You think this is silly,
and
but
flying bird space, make it make sense.
Come on, man.
And like I said, the birds and the
you think that looks silly?
Nah,
silly.
Man.
That's badass looking, dude.
Yeah, silly. And that's just his regular form.
Yeah, Caleb, so what do you think of that?
Come on, man.
Yeah, it definitely has potential. Yeah, if you give him like a fiery look to him, like a fiery lava look, that's definitely something you can do with it.
That's awesome looking, Uncle David.
You got a picture of his vehicle, the little flying octopus?
I think it's in one of the.
Yeah, so I can imagine seeing something like that. Wow.
Where's that? I think it's in one of these things.
The molecular and all, man, it's a lot of potential, man. It's just sitting there.
There's the jet right there.
Yeah.
The jet's probably only one of the cool things, that and the birds. Not think old girl is cute, but does that matter? And not there, because they put a big old head on them toys.
I thought I had it in here. I don't see it.
No, I thought I saw it on there somewhere too.
Me too. I thought it was on one of the ads, but I don't see it on there.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting, man. For the next one, we're gonna find out how many people actually like this thing compared to, because if you got a budget, if you said you was gonna make an anime into a live action movie, you got to choose from, and you had to choose. You don't have to, but if you had to choose from media that came out at the same time, this is not the best. They probably go to Voltron for they even came
Yeah.
close.
Yeah,
But they've
I
already
would say
done. But they've already done
It'll be a
Voltron.
time-
They've already milked.
Live action Voltron?
I don't know, not
people are
live
getting
action.
tired of the old things. Like people are getting
Yeah.
tired of seeing the same thing. This is why this has potential. Like something that to me it's like brand new.
Yeah.
Like I've seen Thundercats so many times. I've seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, all the older stuff, most of the older stuff I've seen.
They've only
something
done.
like this. You
Kids, they've only done.
like this.
They've only done Thundercats twice. So what do you mean you've seen it so many times? Like,
I mean, but it's
like
been a
if
good
someone
bit,
says, "Hey,
yeah.
look, I've seen Ninja Turtles so many times." I mean, they've literally had a Ninja Turtle cartoon for every single generation since the first cartoon
And movies.
and movies. You know what I'm
Listen, I've
saying?
seen Thundercats enough to get the
In fact,
basic
there's no
idea.
Thundercats game. There's no SilverHawks game. None
Yeah.
of these have video games. They don't have
There was
anything
a-
with the cartoon.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's still room for Thundercats. I think we could still get some good media out of that they just haven't done. I think a live action Thundercats would be freaking awesome. You know,
I think a Thundercats RPG
I
game.
don't think that'd be
Shit.
good. Nah, that's be horrible. Don't do live action. Dude.
I think that would be, dude. If they did it right,
No, bro.
and they did that shit, that should be dope.
Boy, have
There's-
one more
there's
doing
no
that
way they can do that right.
sorcery.
Bro, there's no way you can do that right, bro. They're gonna mess it up, bro.
Why couldn't they do it right?
You're talking about humanoid cat people. We're starting to do that. It looks pretty bad. I'm sorry.
I mean, literally
Nah,
the Na'vi in Avatar are humanoid cat people, and they
do you
look
know
all.
how expensive it is to make Avatar? That's one of the more expensive movies that was ever made.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that okay, they got to go that far. What I'm saying is with makeup and CG, they could do some pretty cool looking stuff. And animatronics, look, we need to get back to animatronics, in my opinion, anyway. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So-
For something like that, they need it for that, bro. Because the CGI.
Dude, if they can make Jar
I'm
Jar
sorry.
Binks, they can make anything.
No, I think with
Yeah,
some
have a
really good
scarf
makeup,
running around like that.
I think with some really good makeup, man, and some CG, they could pull off Thundercats, man. They could do it. They could do it, and it would look awesome. I think they can make it look awesome. You know, I'm trying to.
People are going to come and watch that too, man. They're going to come.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there, but it's
That
just,
Voltron, though, man.
Oh.
Woo.
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I tried watching the new Voltron. I just couldn't get into it, man. I just couldn't get into
Talking
it.
about the one for Netflix.
Yeah, I heard it was
what?
good. I heard it was good.
It is.
I just couldn't get into
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
But
I don't know
as much
what's
as
wrong with him.
well, not. Yeah, I'm about to say something. I ain't gonna say it on it, but I did enjoy the animation on it, the newer one.
You know what it is? I'm from an era where, and I know why they don't do it anymore. But I'm from an era where, if there was a car, or if there was a robot or a mech or something like that in anime or animation, it was it was animated by hand in 2D, and it had a certain look, and it looked awesome. Now everything is 3D, and it just
But
looks
it's a
like
waste of
shit.
time to draw that, dude. What artist out of like nowadays wants to draw that? It makes no sense. It's a waste of their
And
time.
I just want the audience to know.
And they don't get paid enough to do
I
that.
want the audience to know.
AI, go
Hold
ahead
on,
and say
wait.
it.
I want the audience to
AI.
know that Caliph is a Blender. What's it called? A Blender file.
Yeah.
He is a 3D artist, so he has a particular bias when it comes to 3D art. So I'm not saying, Caliph, that it's feasible. I get why they use 3D. What I'm saying is, I think it looks like shit. That's what I'm saying. When you merge the 3D with 2D, it looks like shit. It looks like shit. I'm sorry. I don't like how it looks. I don't think I'll ever like how it looks. And I think 2D characters should have 2D vehicles and mechs and robots to drive and pilot. I just think, I mean, you go look at those old anime from the 80s, and even the stuff from our 80s cartoons, like how they did the mechs and the vehicles and stuff like that. It just looks so good, and it merged well because it's 2D. But seeing the 3D mechs with 2D characters has always looked like shit to me. It always will look like shit to me. I don't care what they do. I don't think it ever look good. So I'm not saying, Caliph, that that I understand why they use 3D. It's cheaper. It's faster. I'm just saying it looks like shit. It looks like shit. Like utter shit. And I'm tired of seeing it. And from a visual standpoint, that's what kind of turned me off with the new Voltron thing. I just couldn't watch it. I'm sure
Is that not biased too?
it is biased. I agree. I agree that it's
Won't even get the good storyline.
no, I agree that it's a bias, but I think most people, if you sat them down, I'm not saying everyone, I'm saying most people, if you sat them down and you showed them like a clip of 2D animated mechs from like the 80s, and you showed them this 3D shit that we have today, they would say, "Yeah, that looks a lot better.
He's right.
That looks a lot better."
People have gotten to a point where it's satisfying enough to look at. You know, it's like oh,
yeah, mediocrity, as like your generation, like
it's not
like your mumble rap, like your mumble rap. Yeah, like your mediocrity. Yes, we must accept mediocrity because it's easier to do, just like your AI art and everything. You don't want to spend any time. You don't want to have any expertise in advance to become an expert or something. No, we're just everything just it's fast. Let's just get it done. Hurry.
We live in a quicker world. We don't live in a slow world no more. We live in a quicker world where everything has to be done quick.
Blender file. Blender file.
I'm sorry. We live in a quicker world than like 20 years ago. I'm sorry. The world's a quicker place, especially with the advances of the internet and technology. Well, people want things quicker.
I'm gonna chime in on that. I do like what Kayla was talking about on that. Especially, hey, if you're working on a project and there's a timeline and stuff like that, of course, hey, they're going to want to take that route for it. You just have to find someone who's going to invest into you, and if you tell them, hey, look, I really feel like this show or this project will be better in 2D, and plus let them know what hey, look, it's going to take some time and stuff, but it's actually going to look more, because you don't see it a lot, like, because if you look at the animation of the intro for SilverHawks, I mean, you see how the plane is moving and all that. Yeah. It's awesome. You know what I'm saying? And I know, and a lot of times too, they take, a lot of the time is taken in the intro because they want to make it look,
And the intro also always looks better than the actual cartoon.
Exactly.
Sort of like the comic cover usually always looks better than the inside of the
exactly.
comic.
It's just that thing, man. It's just I miss seeing that type of animation, visually wise, like on there. I was like, man, that's just so detailed. It's just so much into, and but I like both worlds, but I just miss that 2D type of look.
Yeah, I'll eventually probably sit down and give Voltron another shot because I have heard good things about it.
You should.
It's just visually, I just couldn't. It was like it's a shit. This is shit.
Well, I actually feel like it's it's a lot better than some of the 3D work I've seen while it's on it.
I'll give you that.
But it's like it's something. I don't know. It's just when I looked at other ones, it's just I don't know. Maybe because I'm just biased because Voltron. I don't know. It's probably what it mainly is. But I will say I do like the newer Voltron 3D animation better than they had one before that one, and it was just straight garbage. I ain't gonna lie. It was just straight garbage. But this one here, it's just I don't know. It's like they found their stride in it, and it works. Now the one before that one, I'm not sure which one. I mean, it's straight up. I don't want to say when 3D animation was first coming out, it wasn't like that, but you can tell they were like experimenting with it and seeing that it's working, and you can see where it's like it looks like I don't want to say fake, but the movements don't it doesn't sell it. But in this particular the Netflix one, I feel like the animation in the 3D sells it more than what the old one did, and but that's where I stand on it right now.
Well, and I'll grant you that I think the 3D is getting better. They're able to merge it a little better, but it's still just too distracting for me.
Gotcha.
Now, granted, I have refined taste when it comes to this type of stuff, as far as being an artist. So it's just
remember, you're making it for the consumer, not for the artist. I was like, the consumer make his money. It's not the artist that makes money.
No, I grant you that. I mean, you said it yourself. Like, if they can get it out and people accept it, and they can make money, that's what they're going to do. So
most people are accepting at this point. More people are more accepting probably of trash artwork now they were probably in your time.
We're seeing
people are way more accepting.
Yeah, no, we're seeing the degradation of society. Yeah, we know, we see it.
It's like you have to take that into account too.
We're seeing the degradation of society on all fronts, and the cartoons are no different. Yeah, we know.
But on another note, the Simpsons are still going. So
yeah, that's crazy. But I remember the Simpsons came out when I think I was first grade, dude. I had the Bart T-shirt. I think I was in first grade, Miss Simmons class.
Third or second grade, something like that. Yeah,
you're right. It was third grade because I was at Span. So you're right. It was third grade, and I had the Bart T-shirt that said "Eat my shorts," and this shows you how much time. This shows you how much times have changed. That was controversial back then. They didn't like boys coming to school with Bart T-shirts on. That was considered
Yep.
controversial, and now it's just like I'm not going to get too political here, but now this type of
Yeah,
stuff
you
that
gotta be careful.
you can say and do in schools is just like okay, you know.
Yeah.
But back then that was controversial. They thought it was like disrespectful, to wear a shirt like that. But I had it. I had my little, eat my shorts, Bart Simpson
Yep.
shirt. But anyway, guys, we're over an hour here. So any final words, Caliph? You first.
I don't have any final words.
You don't have any final words. Yay or nay? Silverhawks can be adapted to live action. Yay or nay?
Yeah, there's a lot of potential for it. So yes.
All right, Mr. Unimaginative DJ Dave Darko. Final words. Yay or nay?
It can, but it shouldn't be.
Mr. Arsenal Beats. Your verdict, please.
Yes, I definitely say yay, and I also say, Dave, use your imagination.
That's what's wrong with you. You got a mind like yay.
He's not an artist, right? You gotta think so kind of he's not just like an artist like us, right? So it's like he probably thinks of things different.
Kid with the killer slash.
He thinks of things horribly. That's what he thinks.
But he's not an artist. Like he's like he's
What do
a
you mean
music
I'm not
artist.
an
Not,
artist?
like you're a music artist, not like the like drawing artist
Yeah,
or 3D
as-
artist.
as
So
a-
you think of things differently as far as visually,
Okay, yeah,
That's not
Uncle
thing that takes into
Dave,
account when you're talking to him,
DJ Dave, like,
Sure.
since you are more on the music side of things, what do you think of the intro song and music and everything?
I can remember it. It's all right. But it's not like thunder, 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 thunder.
I think it's better than the Thundercats one. I like the Thunder. And don't get me wrong,
I don't know
I like the
about that
Thundercats.
one.
I like the
I
Thundercats.
don't
I
know
think the
about
Silverhawks one is better.
I don't know.
But anyway, my final thoughts are: I think Hollywood needs to explore these types of things more. They'll remake some of the dumbest shit that no one cares about, or that people care about, but it's just been done over and over and over and over again. And I get why. It's proven, but I think that
Guaranteed money.
I think there's a lot of things you can explore with this, and it could be successful as a new animated series, which it sounds like they're working on. Animated movies, which to me would be the cream of the crop. Like you get some high tier animators, you do some animated movies, that would be awesome. And I think it could also work as live action, guys. I think this could actually work better as live action than Thundercats. And no, wait. I'm not saying as far as what would sell more. What I'm saying as far as technicality, like what you could get away, what you could do easier and quicker, and still make it look good. As far as the special effects, I think you could do this easier and better.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And probably less expensive than something like Thundercats. I think there's a lot of potential here, untapped potential here, and a lot. And I read online, a lot of people were like, they've always wanted either a follow up or a reboot of the series.
Well, guess who will not be watching it?
You will. You'll watch it. If you watch that lame ass,
I'm gonna force you to watch it.
if you watch that lame ass anti male He-Man reboot,
Oh man,
You-
with
you'll
Adam,
watch-
I got chills.
Are you sure you want to say that on the podcast, Brian?
Grayskull without
Why, I
the
can't say
sword,
something?
I was like, my God.
I'm allowed to say something anti-male. But anyway,
But yeah, let's wrap this up, man.
yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, and
some grub.
so this will conclude our first podcast since we've been back in a long time. And can I get a show enough from everybody?
Sure
No.
enough.
Nah, that was weak.
Yo, no.
All right.
right, see
Good night,
you guys.
everyone. Yep. We're signing out.
All right, everybody.
Lucent Studio.